Hello, welcome to the Chit Chat Knits podcast. My name is Darcy and I'm the maker at Chit Chat Knits. Well, it has been a while. The last time I cast, it was the beginning of January and we were leaving on a trip. And I fully intended to make a video on the trip or more than one. And it just didn't happen. If you watched the beginning of the video, you saw some pictures, and I think you got an indication that we were busy, and that was a good thing. We had about 6 weeks in Florida, camping, mountain biking, spending time with friends, and it was fantastic. So, interesting. It's been a warm year here in Wisconsin, and it was a cool winter in Florida, but it was still beautiful weather for mountain biking, for touring around, seeing things. We did spend just a little time at the beach, but it wasn't really beach weather, but that's okay. That's okay. We still had a good time. And someone asked me yesterday, did you get a lot of knitting done? And I said no. But as I looked at my projects and gathered them up, I did some knitting. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about it, and I thank you for joining me. If you've been with me before, thank you for your patience and for coming back. If you're new to the cast, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully I'm going to go through, and hopefully this won't be too long today, but I do have a lot to show. So let's get started. As I said, we were in Florida, and so you will have seen some pictures on the front of the video, just some random things we did in Florida. But one of the greatest things that I loved so very much was on our way to Florida. We had the opportunity to visit Susan and her family of Delightful Works. We had just a fantastic visit in Georgia with her family. And so I want to start today with showing you an adorable bag that Susan made for me. If you have never seen Susan's company before, it's called Delightful Works. I've talked about her here on the podcast before, and she makes the most beautiful project bags. And this is one she made for me. Isn't it so cute? It was just perfect for Valentine's Day. And I have carried it and used it. I even sat on the beach with my project in it and knit at the beach, and I just love it. So thank you so much, Susan. Now, before I get into projects, I want to tell you about something very, very special to me. And I'm really hoping that you will join in. So let me tell you what it is. I'm doing a make-along, and it's called the Knit Lit Make-Along 2024. And I'll put the hashtag in here, Knit Lit Mal 24. This is going to be on Instagram and in my Ravelry group. Now, let me tell you about this, because this is very dear to my heart. If you've watched before, you know that I love children's books because I was an elementary school teacher, and my specialty was in reading. And I have a strong belief that children who read at home are more successful. That's a general statement, but I just believe there's something very, very special about reading to children. I loved reading to my children as they were growing up. I can see us sitting on the porch swing with our pile of books from the library and reading. And I love reading with my grandchildren. So I am hoping that you will help me through this make-along promote literacy. So here's the details. We're going to start tomorrow, March 1st. Now, what project can you knit or crochet? Anything you want. Any project that you would like to make for spring, And maybe even not a spring project, any project you want to make. Pick a project, whatever you want to make. Does it need to be a Chit Chat Knits pattern? No, it does not. I would love it if you would use a Chit Chat Knits pattern, but you by no means need to do that. Can you double dip? Yes. Am I going to double dip? Yes, I am. And if you don't know what double dip means, it means that you're using your project and entering it into more than one make-along. That's all it means. Now, here's the special thing about this make-along. I would love to have you pair your project with the children's book. Pick a children's book, pair it up, create a little photo, post it, and we will encourage you on through your project. It's pretty simple, but there's also a twist, and this is how we can help promote literacy. I'm going to ask you to donate a children's book somewhere. Find somewhere that you would like to donate a children's book and donate it, one or more, at least one children's book. Now, some ideas: local elementary schools. I had families that sponsored my classroom, and each child got a book, which was really special because kids do love books. They love to have a book of their own. Did I say little free libraries are a great place to donate a book? How about a homeschooling family that could really use some boosting in their library? I'm hoping to be at a health fair that our church is hosting for immigrant workers, and just be there to hand out some kids' books to little children who come along with their parents. So find your place, donate it, post about it, share your project, have fun creating a little page with your project. I'll put one on in here that I actually put up on Instagram of my first project that I'm going to make. And then let's just share about it. And here's the awesome thing. I sent out a little email to some knitting maker friends asking if they would help support it. And I already have prizes coming in. So there will be prizes, and we love prizes. So there will be prizes coming. So we're going to run this from March 1st to May 15th. You have 6 weeks, plenty of time. Do you have to do a giant project? No, you do not. Where can you buy children's books? You can buy great children's books at thrift stores, Goodwills, wherever. Do you need to spend a lot of money? No, you don't. Let's just help promote literacy. And somewhere in here, I'm going to put an infographic of why I think it's so important. We'll put some statistics in. Okay. So let me show you my first project that I'm going to make for the Knit Lit Mal 24. I am making a Wildflower tee, and this is a pattern. I'm just going to show the top of it. This is a pattern by Wise Owl Knits. It's a little color work t-shirt, knitted t-shirt. And my book that I'm pairing it with, where did my book go? Oh, still here in the pile, is called Fancy Nancy. And Nancy is quite a character. She loves everything to be fancy. So I think this pattern is a perfect pattern to go along with Fancy Nancy. And let me show you my yarns. So this yarn I pulled out of stash. It's an older colorway from Toad Hollow Yarns. It's fingering weight, and which also brings me to another point. In my Ravelry group, we're doing a stash bash this year. So this will go in my stash bashing. There's a thread in there. You can read about it there. And then the color work in there, I just pulled a bunch of minis that are going to go with it for the color work. Aren't those pretty? And this is going to be for my 2-year-old granddaughter. Won't she look fancy in that sweater? I'm excited. I'm going to hopefully, I've swatched and I'm ready to hopefully cast on tomorrow, March 1st. I do want to, I will be seeing her tomorrow, and I want to just take some measurements before I cast on to make sure I'm doing the right size. So I hope you'll join me. Knit Lit Mal 24. I hope you think this is fun. I think it's fun, and maybe we can make a difference. Wouldn't it be amazing if makers from the United States as well as other places in the world would join in on this make-along? I would really love that, to see it help us promote literacy around the world. Can we do it? Will you help? Let me know your comments down here. Okay, that's the mount. We'll get it going. The next thing I want to talk to you about is, well, you know, usually we go finished objects, new projects, but mine are going to be mixed together today. So here's the first, well, let's talk about what I'm wearing, should we? So this is a little shawlette that I made on the trip, and the yarn is by Up North Yarns, and it's Beach. I had it, I didn't write it down. I'm gonna put it here, the name of the yarn, the colorway. It's Beach something. And it was just so perfect to be knitting on when we were at the ocean, the blue sky, the sand. I love it. Makes a cute little scarf to dress up, little shawl scarf to dress up an outfit today. And look at, I got these cute, they're butterfly wings. Can you see that? Oh, just love them. I bought them at an art store in Florida. Anyway, a little shawl, and I said this is a finished object, but there's also a new one that I will be casting on, because I actually made this for a knitting retreat that I'm going to be going to in a couple weeks. I actually get to speak at the retreat. I'm so excited about this, and it's sponsored by Cato Yarn Company, and it will be held in Mankato, Minnesota. I think she has a couple spots left. So if you are in that area, Twin Cities area even, and you would be interested in a one-day great little knitting retreat, I'll have Cato Yarn Company linked down below. She's got it all on her website. But Shelly has created this gorgeous set of yarn for the retreat for this pattern. And it's called, the colorway is Crocus and Bittersweet. Oh, can you tell blue is my color? So this pattern will be coming. It's a special pattern for retreat goers for that special day, but I'm sure you'll be able to catch up with it later. So I'm excited to get this cast on, another one cast on too. I'm gonna actually, this one I just made in the one variegated, but I'm actually putting a border on the final pattern. You know, because that's what happens. We do a pattern, and then sometimes you just decide to adjust it a little bit. And so that one's going to get a little bit of adjustment. But I think it's cute, isn't it? Just a little shawlette. It's not huge. It could go over your shoulders too, but it has just some fun little interest. Keep an eye out. Okay, that's Cato Yarn Company, and this is Up North Yarns. My first sample was made in it because of course I had to do beach colors, and I'm going to put the name in. You'll see it. Okay, so I also was knitting something warm while I was on the trip, and let's just take this off and I will put it on and show you. This one is a little cowl. Okay, now here goes the hair. You know, And it is called Oh My Stars. And here it is. It's a nice warm cowl. I love my cowls to be narrow at their top and wider as we go, so that they lay, look at how that lays on my shoulders. It's not bunching up. It's really has a nice, so I always put creases in so that it will lay. And then this time I added a tie along the top. So this could be tied up, snugged up. If I went for a walk today, it is windy out there, and this would be perfect to wear. So it's called Oh My Stars. And the yarn is called Pearl, is the colorway, and this is by Cato Yarn Company. Isn't that pretty? So that'll be a future pattern. I'm not sure when. We'll see. It might even wait till fall. We'll see. All right, get this back on. Love this shawl, little shawlette. I do my shape so that it's a triangle shawl, but it's a little narrower in the V and a little bit longer on the ends. And that helps give you some extra on the ends to tie it or to have it drape over the shoulders. So I like this shape where you get a little bit more on the ends. I think it makes that more wearable than just a traditional triangle shawl. Okay, so then I have another finished object and works in progress on another pattern. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw these socks maybe in the beginning of February, because I was knitting on them while we traveled. Here they are. They're called the Fruit Loop socks. Do you remember Fruit Loop cereal? The loops around the leg, Fruit Loops, get it? And you know, they're just fun. So there's some striping. It uses 2 mini skeins or more. You could stripe it up any way you want. I think some of the testers even just did 1 mini skein, made them shorter, 1 mini skein, and then the main color. It looks, I think it's, and I love what testers do. There are even samples where they inverted the colors and did dark for the main color and lighter for the stripes. So much fun. I can't possibly knit all the variations that I would love to knit, and so I'm so grateful for testers who are creative. Now, look at those toes. These have been my favorite toes lately. I love those stripes, all written in the pattern. This is coming soon. I am also making this pair. This yarn was sponsored by Bella Fio yarn. I have her, here she is, Bella Fio, Melissa. And she dyed this special colorway for my socks. I love it. It is called, are you ready for this? I'm so honored. She called it Darcy's Delight. People are so good. That made me feel so special that she made a colorway for me. So here they are. Cute little socks. I love them. They're so cute. So, as you can see, I have one and I have an empty sock blocker. So that means I will be knitting a second sock in the next couple days. I actually have the second one started. You know, I love to do, I've said this before, I love to knit the top, the ribbing on the second one, the leg on the second one, turn the heel, because I prefer a heel flap and gusset. I know there are a million ways, maybe not a million, lots of ways to do a heel on a sock, but I always go back to the heel flap and gusset, probably because it fits me really well, and I like the look of it, so that's what it is. You know, if you're a sock knitter, insert your own heel. Anyway, and then the foot, and then the toe. Oh, look at that toe. Look at that. Oh, that stripy toe just does it for me. So cute. So anyway, here's what I like to do, part by part. Here's what I did. Did not end up doing it. I don't know why. I just kept knitting and barely started the second one. So anyway, it's just a head game, you know. I think for me, if I do, when I get to the end, then I don't have this feeling of, oh, I've got a whole nother sock to knit, which I like knitting socks. So why? I don't know. Whatever. I get the joy of knitting that second sock now. And I'm going to try to knit it up in the next couple days. I have about 4 hours riding in the car tomorrow. So that should give me some good time to get that second sock knit. Okay. Watch for this pattern coming. Hopefully in a week or so. Got a few things going on, a few family things that I'm very excited about, but to take the time for. So it may not be for a good week or so. That's okay. All right, what else do I have to show you? Okay, this is something special. Melissa of Bella Fio Yarns has a new yarn club. And I saw her February listing as we were traveling to Florida. And I said, I have to have this one. I want to put a picture in here of one of my favorite things in the world. And then tell you why I had to have that yarn. Picture? Okay. So here it is. It's called the Simple Pleasures Yarn Club. Simple Pleasures Yarn Club. And the February installment was Flamingo. I love flamingos. They're beautiful. The color, I love the color so much of the yarn and of the real birds. And we were in St. Petersburg, and we visited a place called Sunken Garden, and they had flamingos there, and I probably sat there and watched them for an hour. They are just fascinating, and I really think Melissa nailed it with this yarn. Isn't that just gorgeous? Love it. It's going to be socks coming. Okay, this yarn club. Okay, now get this. Okay, so it says 437 yards and 100 grams. So it's 437 yards plus a mini skein that you get. Plus you get a little bag of goodies. She had a cute little notebook in there. I love these. I keep these in my purse, and then, there's always random thoughts that need to be written down. So I keep them. Okay, and then this here. This is a keychain with a flamingo on it, and it says, never forget how flamazing you are. Never forget how flamazing you are. Oh my gosh. when I saw that, oh, I love it. I think it's going to go on my knitting bag, my big knitting tote. So as a reminder, love it, love it. All right, what else do we have on the list? We went through pretty fast here, didn't we? All right, I did pull up some children's books. And I'm just going to fan these here because I want you to please, please join us for our make-along. I love this book right here. Richard Scarry's best storybook ever. This is a book that when my kids were little, we checked out of the library all the time. They love this book. It's got little short stories in it. And they loved it. And we read it over and over, and we checked it out over and over. And then I was recently in a thrift store, antique store, and I saw this book and I just had to buy it. So that's going to my grandchildren. Oh, it's got, you can tell it was from a thrift store. Welcome to the world, baby Viola. You are already so loved. They won't care. So, good places you can buy inexpensively thrift books, thrift stores. Amazon has good prices on books. Will you please join me in the Knit lit for literature, not lit. Knit lit Mal 24. I would love to hear from you down below. You probably saw the beginning of the video, my new intro, and I have a new exit on the other end. And I just want to say that the music that you hear on there is by my friend Katie and I. And our music is on Spotify under Cat and Dat. So you will hear us singing on there. Okay, thanks for stopping by. And I always forget to say it. Like, subscribe, and I love it when you leave a comment. So will you please leave me a comment? And I would love to have you join the make-along. Thanks for stopping by today. I'll see you again real soon. Happy making. Yes, I think to myself,